right? Because you've got to learn to operate as teams. And when we say teams, we're talking like the professional sports teams, not your kids' soccer team where everybody gets a trophy for showing up. Right? That's not it. Right? Game is played by teams, and all teams, and I know this from all my experience, you don't have a strong team if you don't have a strong set of values underlying the team. Right? So it doesn't matter whether it's a leadership team, a project team, a strategy team, an innovation team, they're all, in the end, value-driven. Now, we talk about high performance, and this is going to become potentially a little bit touchy for some of you, but why are we working at, remember, the coordination company, it's all about how do you win, right? So how do we quickly organize ourselves to take care of our customers? That's, in the end, what it's all about, right? The game is about high performance because it's the only way you can consistently win, so you need teams that are made up of high performers. And the key for us is, and we tell clients, you need to be rigorous here, not ruthless. Those are two different things, but rigorous in terms of maintaining your standards about this. The reason for that is twofold. One, everybody knows you've got your A players, your B players, and your C players, yes? Nod your heads, it's okay. All right, yeah, okay, good. You're all the A players, yes? Yeah, oh yes, absolutely, okay. See, and the reason you're all here and you like each other is because the A players have a natural affinity for other A players, right? You can just kind of feel it when you show up. Yes, all right. You'll be okay working with the B players if there's an investment being made to develop the B players. That's okay. We're all in favor of developing people. That's our business, right? But we're not going to work with the C players. In fact, the reason some of you are here is because you were in organizations where C-level performance became the norm, right? And you said, I'm out of here. I am out of here. I'm not going to deal with this. Life is too short. Yes? All right. All right. Now, so how do we get a great workplace? This is going to shake you up a little bit. So I'm going to suggest to you that it's not about, free daycare and the espresso stand and all that kind of stuff. Those are nice to have, but the real essential thing is stunning colleagues. Right? What if every person that you worked with was someone you respected and could learn from? How would that be? That would rock it, yes? All right? Now, again, what's the reason you're here? To be surrounded by other stunning people. Yes? Yes. Don't be bashful. Yes, right? That's why we're here. We want to get dipped in it a little bit here, right? That's a great workplace. Then the question, of course, is, sounds great, how do we get that, right? So you've got to hire and train well, and it's also important to be rigorous about your standards. Right? Consistently adequate performance isn't going to enable you to grow. And this is tougher for some of you in smaller companies because these people sometimes then become your friends. Yes, all right? But the reality is, it's okay to have a nice, what we call, robust alumni directory. Mm-hmm. All right? All right? It's okay. We got to keep refreshing the talent pool. All right? So now the reason for this gets to autonomy and accountability. And this is where, again, I'm going to shake up a little your thinking. So look at this list, and you'll notice that it describes all of you. Yes? Okay? Now, those kind of people don't need somebody standing over their shoulder because you thrive on autonomy, and as a result of you living those kinds of qualities, you're what we call worthy of freedom. All right? Now, here's what happens. Industrial era thinking drives most companies to seek to curtail autonomy as they grow because we do this under the banner of we want to avoid mistakes. All right? Now, of course, avoiding mistakes is good, but how most companies go about it, not so much. So watch. So we get bigger, and yet autonomy tends to go down. Why is that? It's my very extensive graphic work here. Right? So, right? Everybody wants to grow, right? Of course, right? Grow or die, basic principle of any living organism. Right? Now the problem is, the more you grow, the more complex things get. So you've got more products, more services, more people, more customer, more interactions, and more possible combinations of all those. So what happens? Well, what happens is what we call the talent density tends to shrink. So the more complex it is, the farther our talent density goes down, not because the people are getting dumber, but the business is getting more complex, right? Now what happens then in that gap? Chaos. This sound familiar to some of you now, right? See this guy? He's not happy, right? So what happens is chaos shows up in that gap and people don't know what to do about it. So the traditional industrial era answer is process, right? Now again, everybody, you need process if you're doing the same thing over and over. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh, we don't need any process. Of course we do. But we tend to kind of overdo it. Nobody really likes process for everything, but it seems prudent in the face of the other choice, which is chaos. The dilemma is more process, more rules, more regulations, less autonomy. See, there's another unhappy face. Is she going to be sticking around for long? No, because your A-level performers won't put up with it. And again, I'm going to argue many of you are sitting here in the room because of that. See, I even got an amen on that. All right? Now watch what happens. All right, this is where everybody can take a lesson here. So, we put in lots of processes and rules. We've kind of driven out some of our what look like rabble-rousing, troublemaking A performers, but we're cool. We got a highly successful process-driven company. We got a leading market share. We are rocking it. We don't require lots of brilliant thinking because we got it all operating. You know, it's like that car we've got all tuned up. Don't touch nothing. It's working perfect. All right? Right? We make few mistakes. We're very efficient, but we've lost some of our curious A folks. We're optimized performance for our existing market. And then the market changes. Ruh-roh. Yep. All right, so it doesn't matter. New technology, new competitors, new business models. The company, of course, then is unable to adapt quickly. Why? Because the employees have been extremely good at following rules and processes, and that's what the culture reinforces. So we generally grind slowly into irrelevance.